Hello, 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 and welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I am so excited. I'm so excited for the opportunity for you guys to be back here and subscribing to the channel. And we are really just went over 3K subscribers. So I want to thank you guys for the like, shares, and subscribes. I want to thank you guys for continuing to send the emails and continuing to move us in the direction we to raise the roof, so to speak, we're raising the ceiling on expectations. And I just want to thank you guys because we're hitting milestone after milestone after milestone, and things are really moving the way we want them to go. So thank you for subscribing and to Finding Your 40. This is Coach Vic saying welcome, welcome, welcome. I want to thank you guys. Just full of energy, full of life, full of opportunity to be able to bring us into a greater version of ourselves. And as I always tell you, and I'll say it again, this platform is specifically for and solely for you, for us. It is not about anybody else but us. I know that sounds selfish. It sounds like we are trying to, we're conceited or arrogant. But until you can bring your greatest version of yourself to the party, so to speak, every day, you are a detractor. You are a distraction for those around you. And so, what the whole purpose of this program of this particular platform is to help each one of us get to the greatest version of ourselves, so we can present the greatest version of ourselves to everyone around us, so it can be a better experience both for them and for us, and for us individually. And so Today, the message is, who do you say you are? Who do you say you are? Many things happen when we confess who we are to ourselves. When we begin to confess who we are to others, it becomes that much more of a greater experience for them, because we begin to move into the greatest version of ourselves. We begin to see ourselves in a whole different light, a whole new manner, and we begin to manifest the things that we have expectation for on the inside. Our internal begins to become external, and our environment begins to permeate our words, and so our words begin to permeate our environment. And I just thank you guys for continuing to join us, and thank you for continuing opportunity for us to continue to seek out to be the best version of ourselves each and every day. It starts with consistency. It starts with us getting up every morning and learning to do the same thing over and over and over again. When we start confessing the right words, we start speaking with the right tone. We begin to look at ourselves in the mirror, and we begin to speak life into ourselves, so to speak. And as we're speaking life into ourselves, life around us begins to change, because our mindset changes, our environment changes, therefore our atmosphere changes. We always talk about the ecosystem and how we begin to we talk about the redwood, how the redwood takes in the sunlight, takes in the rain, takes in all the minerals and all the moisture in the air, and it begins to, and with this two-way root system, it begins to spread out, and as it spreads out, it begins to germinate the environment around it, and so the ecosystem around it feeds into the redwood, and also feeds the redwood as well, and it feeds from the redwood, and so we just have to know how we know, as we're speaking life from our inner man, from our inner core, from the inside of us. Then life begins to permeate from the external, and so today we're going to talk about, who do you say you are, and I want you to begin to learn to confess that whatever it is you desire to be, wherever you desire to go, I want you to begin to confess those things to yourself in the mirror, and then you're going to continue to confess those things to people around you, and then as you confess those things to people around you, everything begins to change, begins to move, begins to flow into what you are saying it's supposed to be. And this is how you have to handle the situation and the circumstances, and know that everything around you is built for you to be able to come into your greatest version of yourself. And so today we're gonna start with Matthew. I told you guys I'm a devout Christian. Everything I am, all that I do, starts with the Word of God, and so I have to give it to you in a way that you are able to really begin to let it influence you the way it influences me. And if you don't want to hear the Word of God, I apologize. It's just who I am. It's just who I am. So I'm not apologizing for speaking it. I'm apologizing that you don't want to hear it. But it's just who I am. It's who I am. And the scripture says it like this. And it says in Matthew 6, no, excuse me, in Matthew 16, starting at verse 13. And it says, and it says, And now Jesus came to the district of Caesarea Philippi, and he asked the disciples, "Who do people say that the Son of Man is?" And they say some, and some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, others Jeremiah or one of the prophets. He says to them, "But who do you say that I am? Who do you say that I am?" And Simon Peter replied, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus answered him and said, "Blessed are you, son of Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I tell you, you are Peter. On this rock I'll build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I will give you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. Whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven." And so I want you to understand that what we just went over. I want you to really get it into your mind. The confession that Peter made of who Jesus was allowed him now to begin to have revealed unto him who he was. And so we have to really begin to understand that as we begin to confess things about ourselves, revelation about who we are begins to come to pass. And this is the whole reason why we go through the discovery process, the whole reason why we begin to write down things, we begin to work on being consistent, because it's through those confessions, it's through us journaling, it's through us understanding more and more about who we are, that we begin to confess to others, we begin to reveal to others more of who we are. And we talked about the inner man holding our mantle and holding our mandate and our gifts and our talents and all those things that are wrapped up inside. But when you begin to confess, if you are a carpenter, if you are an electrician, if you are whatever you want to be, if you are a billionaire, if you are a millionaire, if you begin to confess those things and you begin to move and act accordingly, and begin to put yourself in situations and circumstances where you're beginning to manifest those things on a daily basis. Your mindset begins to change from a scarcity mindset, from a mindset of lack to a mindset of abundance, to a mindset of growth. And as you begin to have a growth mindset, you begin to work on the things you know that you're not, the areas you're not strong in, and you begin to make those areas strong, and you begin to put yourself in situations where you begin to know, and you begin to see opportunities begin to be revealed before you, because you're moving in the greatest version of yourself. You're beginning to see yourself as something greater than what you really are at the moment, what you really are at the moment, what you are at the moment. See, situations, circumstances, and certain things change. The more we profess, the more we possess. The more we profess, the more we confess. And so you have to really begin to get into that place of profession, confession, possession. Professing, confessing, and then possessing, and you will possess the land that belongs to you. You begin to break new ground. You begin to take new territory, because you're moving in a progressive state of mind. You're moving in a place where your progress begins to be revealed to others, and this is why it's so important that for us to take a time away from everything, for us to push everything away just for a few moments or a few days, and separate ourselves from everything. Solitude is not a bad thing. Solitude is a place of growth. Solitude is a place of experience. Solitude is a place of discovery. Solitude puts you in a place where you really begin to understand more of what you need to do in order to get to where you need to go. You can't have everybody talking to you and putting words in your ear and assuming that you're going to achieve what you need to achieve. What you need to achieve might be more than what the people around you are able to speak to you. And so you need to get to that place of solitude. You need to get to that place of discovery. You need to get to that place where you're willing and able to put yourself in a place of separation from everything around you, just for a few moments, just for a day or two, just for an hour, whatever time you have available, to separate yourself from everybody, to collect your thoughts, collect your ideas, and begin to move in a place, move into an opportunity that you have not have moved into before, so you can get to that place. It is so important. It is so important. Your words have power. Your words have power. If you've ever noticed, when you say something, when you talk about being tired, as soon as you come in, you're like, ooh, and in your mind you're thinking, I'm tired. And then your mouth begins to confess, I'm tired. And then you sit down. This is your action. And then your action begins to lead to an emotion. And then the emotion leads to you actually getting to that place where you're actually being tired. And so it is all a cycle. It is all a cycle. Think, say, do. Think, say, do. And then when you get to that think, you think it, you say it, then you do it. And then on the other side of the cycle, from the 6 p.m. to the midnight, it is do, think, and say. It is do, think, and say, and then think, say, and do again, and it just continues, in a cyclical manner. And what you, it's just like the seasons. It's just like the Earth going around the moon, or all of the other, all the planets going around the sun. They all have a cycle, and some cycles take longer than others. Jupiter's cycle around the sun might be 2.5 Earth years, so on and so forth. But one Earth year is one cycle around the sun, one orbit, or one revolution around the sun. And so we have to understand that everything about us, everything about what we're doing, everything about who we are follows after a cycle. And when you have a cycle of negativity, you'll continue to do negative things. You'll continue to say negative things. You'll continue to think negative things over and over and over again. And it's just and as you think negative, as you say negative, as you do negative, negative begins to permeate your atmosphere. But when you begin to put yourself in a situation where you think positively, when you begin to put yourself in a situation where you begin to move and act positively, you will begin to see how positive things begin to come to you. And I was watching one of the prophetic words on the, I kind of watch prophetic words, on YouTube. One of the YouTubers was talking about what you're looking for is looking for you. And so as you begin to go out and you begin to seek to be a greater version of yourself, that greater version of you is also attracted to you, and it's coming to you. It is the resources that you begin to extend out there begin actually to begin to come back to you. And so as you pour yourself into your environment, as you pour into your atmosphere, as you begin to pour into to speak words of life into you, everything around you. Everything around you begins to live, begins to breathe, begins to move with you, so that you can get to a greater version of yourself. And all you have to do is take the time to begin to change your mindset. Change how you think about it, and you will change how you see it. And when you change how you see it, you will change how you say it. And you begin to understand that saying and seeing is just as easy as it is as to see and say. And so, and we talked about that in a whole other video. But the truth of the matter is, when you want to get to where you need to go, you have to think it, you have to say it, and then you have to do it. It's think it, say it, do it. Think it, say it, do it. And the Bible again talks about out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks it. So the things you meditate on, the things you ponder, the things you think about, the things that you hold close to you, are those things you will begin to speak out. And so if you have the wrong people surrounding you, and they're speaking negatively to you, and you continue to consume and digest their negativity, eventually it will come out of your mouth. Why? Because it is filling your mind, and when it fills your mind, it will begin to fill your heart, and then it will begin to fill your mouth. And so you have to begin to take yourself out of situations and environments where it's negative, where people don't have or can't see, can't see their way out of the situation. They can't see their way out of the circumstances, and all they want to do is give you the doom and gloom. Then you have to find yourself a small, quiet space. A small, quiet space to separate yourself from everything around you, so you can begin to change what you're hearing. And you need to begin to confess to yourself that you are what you want to be, that you have already moved into the place that you want to move into, that you need to begin to set your vision on your goals, and then you need to begin to set your goals in order and put them on paper, and you need to begin to write out smart objectives, and then you need to begin to repeat those things over and over again in the morning time until you can see yourself. Where you want to go, and you can see yourself as who you want to be, and then you begin to walk in those things. Even before you get to that place, you begin to walk towards, and as you're walking towards it, it's walking towards you, it's coming towards you, it is moving towards you, it is flowing towards you. Why? Because everything that we are is already inside of us, waiting to get out. And so as what's inside of us, what's in our internal, begins to escape and push into our external, then we'll begin to see exactly what it is we need to do, and we'll begin to walk in it. And so I have a couple more things that we talked about the moon phases. So I want to talk to you about the moon phases. We talk about the cycles. And if you go outside right now, You might have a crescent moon, and then after the crescent moon, you're gonna have a half moon, and after the half moon, you're gonna have a 3/4 moon, and after the 3/4 moon, you're gonna have a full moon, and then after the full moon, there's a new moon, and every month, every 30 days, it goes through the same cycle over and over and over again. And so you have to understand and begin to realize as you're building your thought processes that you begin to build your mindset, and you have a mindset of growth and a mindset of abundance, a mindset of advancement. You're going to begin to walk in that cycle of abundance, of increase. Oh man, and beginning to move and flow into what you want to be until you get to the place you want to go. And you can't listen. Here's the thing that reason why I talk about consistency, because sometimes you're going to get into a place where people are going to talk to you about who you were. They're going to talk to you about the old you. They're going to bring old things back up again, and you're going to learn. You're going to start having those conversations, and when you have those conversations and you begin to revert back to that old mindset, you begin to talk about those old things. What's going to end up happening is eventually, not maybe not immediately, but eventually you begin falling back into that old mindset. You begin to say those old words. You begin to do those old things. You begin walking in those old habits. And I talked to you about it before. Thoughts lead to habits. Thoughts lead to words. Words lead to habits. Habits lead to lifestyles. And if you continue to move in bad habits, you will continue to move in bad lifestyle. And you have to get out of that. You have to be willing to change. You have to demand it from yourself. You have to command it to yourself. You have to profess it. You have to confess it, and then you will possess it. Whatever you profess, whatever you confess, is what you will possess. And so you have to get into that mindset of growth, mindset of abundance, mindset of increase, mindset of all of every opportunity that you need is already available to you if you begin to walk in it. And then this is the only way for you to get to that better place. But you have to separate yourself from everybody around you, whether they be good or bad, whether they speak good or bad, because they're gonna have bad days, they're gonna have emotional days, and they're gonna pour all that into you and onto you, and eventually you're gonna accept it, and then you're going to begin to speak it out again. You're gonna accept it, and then you start confessing it. And as you confess it, you will see only what your confession allows you to see. You will see only what your confession allows you to see. And so you have to get into the mindset of, I'm going to confess the greatest version of me every single day, and you'll begin to see greater and greater begin to come towards you every single day. It happens. It happens. I'm living proof that it happens. But you have to get away from people and get from around people long enough to be able to put yourself in a better position so you can begin to speak life to yourself first. And then you can speak life to things around you, and those things around you will begin to be cultivated, and they'll begin to grow, and then you'll begin to see those things begin to speak life to things around it, and it begins to grow too. I was watching Dr. Miles Monroe one day, and he was talking on one of the television shows, and he held a mango seed in his hand. He said, "What is this?" And the host of the show said, "It's a mango seed." He said, "No, this is a mango orchard." Every seed is designed to produce fruit, and that fruit produces more seeds, and then that seed produces more fruit, that's the cycle. You have seed, tree, fruit, seed, tree, fruit, seed, tree, fruit. The same thing we talked about before. We took think, say, do. Think, say, the thinking is the seed, the saying is the tree, and the doing is the fruit. And so as you're going forward today, begin to understand that your thoughts are seeds. And everything you plant inside your brain is a seed, and everything that comes out of your mouth becomes a seed, and eventually it becomes a tree, and that tree begins to produce fruit. And so we have to get to that place of where we are confessing, what we possess, where we are possessing what we confess, and we understand that it's a cycle. And so this is Coach Vic. I want to talk to you about expression and oppression. I want to talk to you about decompression and compression, but on the next video, we will get into that because I really want you to understand that right now, the words out of your mouth produce the cycle that you're going to walk into. And if you're compressing negativity, then you'll walk into a cycle of negativity and you will continue to be negative because the circumstances will continue to match up with your words, and your words will continue to match up with your thoughts. And that's just how it is. So when you speak positive, you see positive. If you speak negative, you'll see negative. So today, I want you to change your words, change your actions, change your ideas, and change what you allow to come into your ears, what you allow to yourself to consume, what you allow yourself to digest, and then you will change what you allow yourself to possess. Coach Vic, on your 40. Thank you. Like, share, subscribe to the videos. We're over 3K. We're moving on to the next milestone, which is 4K. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for allowing me into your home, into your room, wherever it is you allow me into. Thank you for allowing me in, and thank you for continuing to grow with me as I grow. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Coach Vic, finding your 40, and who do you say you are? Today, you are a champion. You are a champion. You are enough. You are more than enough for every environment that you go into, and every atmosphere that you enter is going to change because you are there. God bless you. Have a good day. Bye.